A leader's greatest responsibility is empower its people. Leadership isn't about a title, a position, or authority. It's about making a difference in the lives of others. The best leaders don't see people as a means to an end. They see them as the reason they lead in the first place. Think about the leaders you've admired the most. They weren't the ones who demanded respect, they earned it. They weren't the ones who made everything about themselves, they made it about you. That's because great leadership starts with a simple mindset shift. It's not about me, it's about them. People don't follow leaders because of what they know. They follow them because of how they make them feel. A leader who puts people first creates an environment where people feel seen, valued, and empowered. And when people feel valued, they give their best. They don't just work harder, they care more. They show up differently because they know their leader isn't just using them to climb higher, but is invested in their success too. So how do you become a leader who puts people first? It starts with listening, really listening. Most leaders listen to reply. Great leaders listen to understand. They take the time to hear people's concerns, dreams, and struggles. They don't dismiss ideas just because they didn't come from them. When a leader listens, it tells people you matter. Your voice matters. And that builds trust, which is the foundation of real leadership. It also means recognizing that leadership isn't about being served, it's about serving. Some people think leadership is about climbing to the top and looking down at others. But the leaders people love to follow are the ones who lift others up. They don't sit in the spotlight alone, they make room for others to shine. They don't take all the credit, they give it away. Because they know that when their people win, everybody wins. Another way to put people first is by helping them grow. The best leaders aren't just focused on results, they're focused on development. They see potential in others before they even see it in themselves. They push people to stretch, to take on challenges, to believe in what they're capable of. They don't hold people back out of fear of losing control. They empower them, knowing that stronger people make a stronger team. And putting people first also means leading with empathy. Leadership is about more than strategies and decisions. It's about people's lives. Every person you lead is carrying something you don't see. Maybe it's stress at home. Maybe it's fear about the future. Maybe it's self-doubt. The greatest leaders don't just focus on what people do. They care about who they are. They lead with compassion, patience, and understanding. But let's be clear, putting people first doesn't mean avoiding hard conversations. It doesn't mean being passive or letting things slide. In fact, the best leaders challenge their people because they care. They hold them accountable because they want the best for them. They correct, guide, and push them forward, not out of frustration, but out of belief in what they can become. At the end of the day, leadership is about relationships. People won't follow you just because you have authority. They won't be loyal just because you sign their paycheck. They'll follow you because they trust you, because they know you have their best interest at heart, because they see that you're not just leading for yourself, you're leading for them. If you want to be a leader that people love to follow, start by putting people first. Because when you take care of your people, they'll take care of everything else. People don't follow words, they follow actions. Leadership isn't about what you say, it's about what you do. A title might give you authority for a moment, but it's your example that earns respect for a lifetime. The best leaders don't demand excellence, they demonstrate it. They don't push people to do better while making excuses for themselves. They walk the path first and invite others to follow. Think about the leaders who have inspired you the most. Were they the ones who gave speeches about hard work but showed up late and left early? Or were they the ones who rolled up their sleeves and worked alongside their team? People do what people see. If you want a culture of accountability, be accountable. If you want a team that's passionate, show passion. If you want people to act with integrity, live with integrity. Leadership isn't about setting the standard, it's about being the standard. The truth is, people are always watching. They see how you handle pressure. They notice how you treat others when no one is looking. They pay attention to whether you keep your promises or break them when it's convenient. And here's the reality, your actions will either inspire or discourage, build trust or break it. You set the tone for the people you lead. If you cut corners, they will too. If you make excuses, they will follow suit. But if you show up every day with a commitment to excellence, they'll rise to meet you. Leading by example doesn't mean being perfect, it means being real. People don't expect flawless leaders. What they want is authenticity. They want to see a leader who owns their mistakes instead of covering them up. A leader who admits when they don't have all the answers but stays committed to finding solutions. A leader who is willing to grow and evolve, not one who thinks they already have it all figured out. When people see that kind of humility, they don't lose respect for you, they gain it. One of the most powerful things a leader can do is set the example in how they treat others. It's easy to be kind and respectful to people who can do something for you, but what about the ones who can't? The real test of leadership is how you treat the quiet voices in the room, the ones who aren't in positions of power. Do you lift people up or do you make them feel small? Do you lead with compassion or do you lead with control? The way you treat people, all people will define the kind of leader you are. Another mark of great leadership is consistency. A leader who is unpredictable in their attitude or values creates instability. One day they're engaged and encouraging, the next they're dismissive and impatient. That kind of leadership confuses people and weakens trust. But when a leader is steady, when their actions match their words day after day, people feel secure. They know what to expect. They know that no matter the circumstance, their leader will stand firm in their principles. Leadership is not a position you hold, it's a responsibility you carry. And that responsibility isn't just to tell people where to go, but to show them. It means modeling the work ethic you want to see in others. It means being the first to take responsibility and the last to take credit. It means staying calm under pressure, choosing integrity over shortcuts, and making the hard decisions that serve the greater good, not just personal gain. At the end of the day, people won't follow you just because you say the right things. They'll follow you because they see the right things in you. They'll follow you because your example gives them something to believe in. If you want to be a leader that people love to follow, don't just talk about the standard, be the standard. Leadership isn't about what you get, it's about what you give. The best leaders don't focus on taking credit, gaining power, or making themselves look important. They focus on adding value to others. They know that leadership is not measured by how many people serve them, but by how many people they serve. When a leader gives more than they take, they create a culture where people don't just work for them, they believe in them. People can sense a leader's motives. They know when someone is leading for personal gain versus when they are leading to make a difference. A leader who only looks out for themselves may get temporary compliance, but they will never earn long-term loyalty. But when people see a leader who is willing to sacrifice, invest, and pour into others without expecting anything in return, they follow that leader with their whole heart. One of the best ways to give more than you take is to invest in people's growth. Leadership isn't just about achieving goals, it's about helping people become better. The strongest leaders don't hoard knowledge or keep opportunities for themselves. They mentor, coach, and create environments where people can develop. They don't see people as tools to accomplish tasks, they see them as individuals with potential waiting to be unlocked. Leaders who give more than they take also make sure their people feel seen and appreciated. It's easy to get so focused on the mission that you forget the people who make it happen. But the truth is, people don't just want to be productive, they want to be valued. A simple thank you, a moment of recognition, or an intentional effort to acknowledge someone's hard work can make all the difference. When people feel appreciated, they don't just work harder, they work with passion. They go the extra mile because they know they are working for a leader who truly cares. Another way great leaders give more than they take is through trust. Some leaders hold on too tightly to control, believing that if they don't do everything themselves, it won't be done right. But real leadership is about empowering others. It's about giving people opportunities to step up, take responsibility, and make an impact. When a leader trusts their people, it builds confidence. It tells them, I believe in you. I see potential in you. You are capable. And when people feel trusted, they rise to the occasion. Giving more than you take also means leading with generosity. Not just generosity with resources, but with time, encouragement, and support. The best leaders don't keep score. They don't hold back their wisdom, their mentorship, or their help because they're afraid of giving too much. They freely share what they've learned, knowing that leadership is not about keeping power, but passing it on. And yet, leading with generosity doesn't mean letting people take advantage of you. Some people think that giving more than you take means always saying yes, avoiding conflict, or letting standards slip. But the truth is, the leaders who care the most challenge the most. They give honest feedback, hold people accountable, and push them to grow. They don't let people settle because they want them to succeed. And when people know that correction comes from a place of belief, not criticism, they respond with trust, not resistance. At the core of great leadership is a simple truth: the more you give, the more you gain. The leaders who pour into others, who lift people up, who lead with generosity and trust, are the ones who build the strongest teams. They don't just get results, they build relationships. They don't just lead a group of employees, they inspire a community of committed, passionate people who want to give their best. If you want to be a leader that people love to follow, don't focus on what you can take. Focus on what you can give, because when you invest in others, the return is always greater than what you gave. A leader who stops growing will eventually stop leading. Leadership isn't about reaching a destination where you have all the answers. It's about continually learning, improving, and evolving. The best leaders understand that growth isn't automatic, it's intentional. They don't wait for opportunities to learn, they seek them out. They don't assume they've arrived, they stay hungry for knowledge. When a leader commits to personal growth, they inspire others to do the same. People follow leaders who are ahead, not leaders who are stuck. If you're not growing, you can't take your people anywhere new. You can't inspire others to develop if you're not developing yourself. Leadership is about movement, progress, and expansion. And that only happens when a leader is committed to learning. One of the greatest mistakes a leader can make is thinking they know it all. The moment you believe you've mastered everything is the moment you start falling behind. True leadership is marked by curiosity. It's asking questions, seeking wisdom, and being open to new ideas. Great leaders aren't threatened by learning from others, they welcome it. They surround themselves with people who challenge them, who bring fresh perspectives, who push them to think bigger. They know that the best way to lead is to remain a student. Growing as a leader also means developing the ability to adapt. The world is constantly changing, and leadership that worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. Leaders who refuse to change don't just hold themselves back, they hold their teams back. But leaders who embrace growth are willing to adjust, to rethink strategies, to innovate. They aren't afraid to step outside their comfort zones because they know that comfort is the enemy of progress. A leader's growth is not just about acquiring knowledge, it's about applying it. Some people attend seminars, read books, and listen to leadership podcasts, but they never put what they've learned into practice. Your knowledge without action is wasted potential. The best leaders don't just gather information, they implement it. They take what they've learned and use it to make real change, to solve problems, to create impact. Another key to growth is learning from failure. Every leader makes mistakes, but not every leader learns from them. Some ignore their failures, some blame others, and some let setbacks define them. But great leaders see failure as a teacher. They reflect, they adjust, and they come back stronger. They don't see mistakes as an end, they see them as a lesson. And when they grow from failure, they give their people permission to do the same. The best leaders also create a culture of growth for their teams. They don't just push themselves to improve, they push others as well. They encourage learning, provide mentorship, and give people opportunities to develop. They don't keep people in the same roles forever. They challenge them to expand their skills, take on new responsibilities, and stretch beyond their limits. When a leader grows, the whole team grows. Staying committed to growth also means staying humble. Leadership isn't about proving how great you are. It's about recognizing there's always more to learn. The greatest leaders don't walk into a room thinking they're the smartest person there. They listen, they learn from everyone. No matter their position or background, they understand that wisdom comes from many places, mentors, team members, experiences, even failures. At the end of the day, leadership is a journey, not a destination. The leaders people love to follow are the ones who never settle. They keep learning, keep improving, keep reaching for new levels of excellence. They don't just expect growth from their teams, they model it in their own lives. If you want to be a leader that people love to follow, never stop growing. Because when you grow, you don't just become better, you make everyone around you better too. The moment a leader starts believing they've arrived is the moment they start falling behind. Leadership is not about proving how important you are, it's about making others feel important. The best leaders don't build their influence through pride, control, or self-importance. They build it through humility. They understand that leadership is not about being the most powerful person in the room, but about lifting up the people in the room. People are drawn to leaders who are confident but not arrogant. They respect leaders who are strong but not self-serving. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself, it's about thinking of yourself less. It's about knowing that leadership is not about you, but about the people you serve. A humble leader is secure enough to admit they don't have all the answers. They're willing to listen, to learn, to grow. They recognize that leadership is not about being the best, but about helping others become their best. One of the greatest signs of humility in leadership is the willingness to give credit to others. Weak leaders hoard recognition. They take all the praise and pass blame when things go wrong. But strong leaders shine the spotlight on their team. They celebrate their people. They make sure everyone knows that success is a team effort, not a one-man show. And when things go wrong, they take responsibility first. They don't make excuses. They own their mistakes. That kind of humility builds trust. It creates a culture where people feel safe, valued, and motivated to give their best. Humble leaders also understand the power of listening. Too many leaders talk more than they listen. They believe their job is to give orders, to always have the final say. But the best leaders know that listening is one of the most powerful things they can do. They listen to learn, not just to respond. They take the time to hear people's ideas, concerns, and perspectives. And when people feel heard, they feel respected. They feel like they matter. That's what creates loyalty, not authority, but understanding. Another mark of humility in leadership is the ability to learn from anyone. Some leaders only take advice from people at their level or higher. But great leaders know that wisdom can come from anyone at any time. They are willing to learn from their team, from their peers, even from those they mentor. They don't let pride keep them from growing. They welcome feedback. They ask for help when needed. And they never act like they have nothing left to learn. Humble leaders also have the strength to admit when they're wrong. Some people think that admitting mistakes is a sign of weakness. But in reality, it's a sign of confidence. It shows that you value truth more than ego, that you care more about getting it right than being right. People don't expect their leaders to be perfect, but they do expect them to be honest. And when a leader owns their mistakes, they set an example for everyone else to do the same. Staying humble also means remembering that leadership is not about power. Some leaders let their position go to their heads. They demand special treatment, expect people to serve them, and think leadership is about control. But true leadership is about service. The best leaders serve their people first. They put others' needs before their own. They use their influence to lift others up, not to hold them down. When people see a leader who is more focused on serving than being served, they follow not out of obligation, but out of respect. At the heart of leadership is this truth. People don't follow titles, they follow character. They follow leaders who are real, who are humble, who put the mission and the team ahead of themselves. They follow leaders who don't just say the right things, but live the right way. If you want to be a leader that people love to follow, stay humble. Because humility doesn't make you weaker, it makes you stronger. It doesn't make you less respected, it makes you more trusted. And the leaders who stay humble are the ones who build the greatest impact, the strongest teams, and the deepest loyalty. At the core of great leadership is one simple truth: people won't remember what you accomplished as much as they'll remember how you made them feel. The best leaders don't just lead with strategy, they lead with heart. They don't just focus on results, they focus on relationships. Leadership is not about commanding respect, it's about earning trust. It's about showing people that they matter, that their voices are heard, and that they are part of something greater than themselves. People don't follow leaders because of their title. They follow because they believe in them. And belief comes from connection. A leader who truly connects with people builds loyalty that no amount of authority or power can ever achieve. But connection doesn't happen by accident, it's intentional. It comes from a leader who takes the time to know their people, to understand them, to see them as individuals, not just as employees or followers. A leader who connects is present. They don't just send emails, give orders, or check in when things go wrong. They engage. They walk alongside their people, not just ahead of them. They ask questions, they listen, they make time. And when people feel seen, they give their best not because they have to, but because they want to. True connection starts with authenticity. People can tell when a leader is being fake, when they say the right things but don't mean them. But when a leader is real, when they're honest about their struggles, when they share their journey, when they show that they're human too, it creates trust. People don't connect with perfection, they connect with realness. A leader who is willing to be vulnerable, to admit they don't have all the answers, to be open about their learning process, earns something far more valuable than authority. They earn respect. Connecting with people also means understanding their needs. Leadership is not one size fits all. Every person on your team is different. They have different strengths, different challenges, different motivations. A leader who connects doesn't lead everyone the same way. They take the time to learn what each person needs, what drives them, what helps them grow. They recognize that leadership isn't about treating everyone equally, it's about treating everyone uniquely. One of the most powerful ways a leader connects is through encouragement. People are surrounded by criticism, by pressure, by expectations. What they need is someone who believes in them. A simple word of encouragement can change someone's entire perspective. It can turn self-doubt into confidence, hesitation into action. A leader who speaks life into people, who reminds them of their potential, who helps them see their strengths, creates a culture of empowerment. And when people feel empowered, they rise to levels they never thought possible. Another key to connection is consistency. People want to know that their leader is steady, that they can trust them in both good times and bad. A leader who is unpredictable, who is encouraging one day and dismissive the next, creates instability. But a leader who is consistent in their character, in their values, in their care for people, builds trust. And trust is the foundation of any strong team, any lasting influence, any great leadership. Leaders who connect also understand that respect is earned, not demanded. Some leaders think they deserve respect simply because of their position. But real respect doesn't come from power, it comes from how you treat people. It comes from humility, from fairness, from showing that you value others as much as you value yourself. When people feel respected, they give respect in return. And when they respect their leader, they will go further, work harder, and stay longer, not because they have to, but because they are inspired to. At the end of the day, leadership is not about getting people to do what you want. It's about building relationships, earning trust, and inspiring people to want to follow you. The leaders who leave the greatest impact are not the ones who focus only on results, but the ones who invest in people. They lead with authenticity, with care, with presence. If you want to be a leader that people love to follow, don't just lead from the front, lead from the heart. Because when people feel connected, they don't just follow a leader, they believe in them. And that belief is what makes all the difference. Leadership is not about titles, power, authority. It's about influence, trust, and impact. The leaders people love to follow are those who lead with integrity, vision, and heart. They give more than they take. They never stop growing. They lead with humility. And most importantly, they connect with their people in a way that inspires belief, loyalty, and action. If you want to be a leader that people don't just follow out of obligation, but out of genuine commitment, then focus on serving, growing, and empowering others. Leadership is not a destination, it's a journey of continuous learning, giving, and becoming. And the best leaders are those who lift others up along the way. So go out and lead with purpose. Lead with authenticity. Lead with the kind of passion and character that makes a lasting impact. Because when you lead the right way, people won't just follow you, they will believe in you, and together you will accomplish something far greater than you ever could alone. Good luck and thank you.